Hey guys, this is going to be a book review of Persuasion by Jane Austen, and I read this on my Kindle, so I don't actually have a book to show you, and the cover on the Kindle isn't very exciting, so I didn't even bother to get the Kindle out, so I don't actually have anything to hold up in this video. So this is the third Jane Austen book that I've read so far this summer because they were all free for the Kindle, and so I downloaded them all. And I decided I'd read Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility in the past, but I bought Pride and Prejudice with this too because I didn't own a copy, and I thought that I would reread it, and I would reread, so I would have read all the Jane Austen books. This is the third one. I've read and reviewed Emma and Mansfield Park on my blog, and so I'm like halfway, I'm slightly more than halfway since I'm not reading Sense and Sensibility through with them, and I think I'm getting extremely burnt out on Jane Austen. I say that because I gave Emma and Mansfield Park both 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I really enjoyed both of them, even though they took me forever to get through, like weeks to get through each book. And Persuasion is the shortest of all of Jane Austen's novels and took me the least amount of time to read, yet I could hardly get through it at all. And the thing is I have no idea if that's because of the book itself or if it's because I've just read too much Jane Austen and it's like too much of the same thing, or if there's really something about Persuasion that I didn't like. I can tell you that I didn't really care about any of the characters in Persuasion. It wasn't that I disliked them, it's just that I didn't care, which is way worse than disliking a character, because if you can hate a character and still be like really invested in their story, but with Persuasion I just really didn't care about any of the characters. I didn't care what happened to them. I just wasn't interested, and I don't know if that was something about the characters themselves and something that I just didn't like about the characters, or if, like I said, it was because I've read too much Jane Austen already, and if I had been going into this book not having so recently read the other Jane Austen books, that I would have liked this more. I don't know. I feel like I should have liked it a lot more. It should have been a lot easier to get through considering it's the shortest Jane Austen book, but I really struggled and just could not keep my focus on the book because I didn't care, really. All of that being said, I did give the book 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, so I clearly didn't like hate it. Like, that's kind of my liked but just didn't really like kind of rating that I usually give books. So I did like the book, and I feel as if I went back and reread it after having like a really long break from Jane Austen, I would like it a lot more. So I probably would have gotten a 4-star rating if I hadn't read the other books so close to it. But I'm thinking that like if I didn't know that, I probably would have rated it 2 out of 5 stars, but because I'm so sure that the majority of my like negative feelings, which weren't really negative feelings so much as just uncaring feelings, came from the fact that I'd just getting burned out on these books, so I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, kind of like in the middle. So I don't know, I'm just kind of neutral on this book, I guess. Like, I was bored, but I didn't hate it. Like, as I was reading, I could tell that I shouldn't dislike the book because it should be something that I enjoyed, but I didn't. And I was going to go ahead and read Pride and Prejudice like really soon, but I think I'm gonna wait with Pride and Prejudice and Northanger Abbey and like give myself a break before I get to those books, because I do not think that I can make it through Pride and Prejudice, and I really don't want to like dislike Pride and Prejudice just because I'm burnt out on Jane Austen. So I think I'm going to take a bit of a break before I go to those 2 books, although I'm really excited to read Northanger Abbey because it's like supposed to be Jane Austen's like most lighthearted book. So maybe I should like not just take a break from Jane Austen but like read Northanger Abbey first, so maybe that would help me. I don't know, but I'm going to take a break. But I will get to those books, but I just think that I need to take a break from Jane Austen for a bit, and hope probably at some point in the future I'll come back to Persuasion and reread it and see how I feel about it then, once I haven't read Jane Austen at all recently, because I do think that that affected my opinion of the book quite a bit. But I think that is all I have to say about the book, and I will see you guys later. Bye!